Hello, everybody. My name is Mr. Dupa. That right there is Drunk Dave Romero.
I'm first.
And that right there is Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
I'm second.
Tonight's brew is the Terrapin Hopzilla Double Indian Pale Ale. Ah, this looks really good. I'm excited. It's the One Beer In Podcast.
Oops. Wait. Wait.
Oh my God.
Wait.
Oh.
Failure to launch.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to.
All right, ladies. Let's drink it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Plastic clink.
That is rich.
Yeah. I like that.
Oh, look, that. It's
Yeah.
good. Oh, dip too late.
I think it turned you old British.
English.
I thought it was pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's a lot stronger than the beers that we've had before this.
Oh, yeah, it's 10%, boy.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're going to have a good night tonight.
Podcast, we're going to get angry later. Probably because of me.
30 minutes in, get ready.
Drunk Dave cometh.
Keep your eye on the clock. It's going to get nasty.
These seismic readings. There's a pattern. He's coming.
Lord. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I'd say a definite recommend if you like the IPA flavor. It's a very, very strong IPA flavor.
Get it, especially after you watch Godzilla.
Yeah.
Because it's fitting.
You may need a drink.
Yeah.
If that doesn't foreshadow the review,
Maybe
I don't know
a
what
stiff
doesn't.
Big one. All right, so ratings.
Gets a...
I'm going 4.5.
Yeah, I was going to go there too.
I'll give it a 5.
Of course.
I'll give it a
Okay.
5.
You want to be different?
A little bit.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, I can dig it. Like I said, this is the One Baron Podcast. This is episode 12, and we are drinking the Hopzilla in honor of what we just put ourselves through for 2 hours, which was the reboot, remake, whatever.
Yeah, what
of-
was that? What was it? Well,
I'd call it a reboot.
I'd call it a reboot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a new, like,
I mean,
universe.
watching it, I was like, okay, I can see how this is just, it's a monster movie on today's terms.
Godzilla. For the record, let's just
Right.
throw that out there. Yes, we went and saw Godzilla tonight.
Failure to launch.
I know for myself, I wanted to watch the film, come back here, turn the recording devices on, and sing its praises for an hour and a half. I wanted that.
Unfortunately.
You're not
for
going
this
to get that.
podcast.
You're not going to get that.
At least not on this side of the table. I know there's other people who really enjoyed the film.
No, everybody at this table is going to agree with you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just get
For
right
the most
into
part,
it.
yeah. We'll dig into it.
First off, I'd like to say that it started off really good, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I was really into it. I thought it was really good. I can see you're already grimacing,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, the first 20 minutes of it, I was enthralled.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the fact that the opening. Should we? Spoiler alert!
I thought you
Before
were
we
going
get into
somewhere.
this, yeah.
I wanted to throw
Spoiler
that out there.
alert! If you haven't seen it yet, you need to skip this cast and come back after you've seen it because we're gonna go in.
Right.
So there's the elevator music.
We're back.
So, first 20, 25 minutes of it, I like the fact that the opening credits blended into the film, and then like right when they drop the bomb in the opening credits, and then the movie opens up, and like that's them dropping the bomb. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I thought it was pretty cool, and from that point on, I thought it set the pace well for what it was supposed to be, like a monster movie, but like / horror film. That's what I thought. That's how they kind of advertised it, was like, this is the new Godzilla. You're not going to see it a lot because it's supposed to be, scary.
Right.
They want to make it scary. It's not a joke. It's not a big green monster and Japanese people, pointing up at it. It's scary. It's supposed to be a monster. You're supposed to picture it as such.
Right.
So going into it, for the first 20 minutes of it, I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start from there, I guess. Jumping in.
I'll give Adam the floor.
Okay, so like I went to this movie with the hype train going strong. Unfortunately, I had read a lot about it. Read a few reviews. It didn't get really bad reviews. It didn't get panned at all.
I think that's a good place to. I mean, as far as like the last time I checked on Rotten Tomatoes, it was at like low 70s.
Yeah,
so
low to mid 70s.
That's a good film.
Right. Still certified fresh.
Yeah.
So I went in
way above fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's in there.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
So I went in with that expectation, and like you were saying, Marco, I wanted it to be that sort of throwback to what the original Godzilla was. The original Godzilla movie, what it was supposed to be anyway. This kind of anti-nuke story,
Right.
thinly veiled with the horror of what this monster causes, and it being taken as seriously as a giant monster movie can be taken, basically, which is what I wanted. But then when we got it, I wasn't as excited about it.
Yeah.
Basically. So, I mean, the beginning did kind of it got me going okay. I just wasn't super excited and like super enthralled with those characters that they introduced.
Nope.
It all seemed really cookie cutter.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't care for anybody, any human character.
Nope.
The little boy was cute. That's about it.
That's kind of weird, man.
Not in that way. But within all of those characters, I don't feel like they were developed right.
I'm on the same page as Adam because I didn't care a single bit about any of those. I didn't care about the wife. I thought the wife was an idiot for falling on the floor and helping that guy up, especially when she knows she's about to die. She's the reason she died.
Yeah, it was totally her fault.
Yeah.
And then Cranston, why does he know so much
Well,
about...
then again, none of them made it back in time.
That's true.
The other Japanese guys, they were ahead of her. They didn't stop, and they still didn't make it.
Right.
None of them made it to the door, so regardless, she wasn't going to survive.
Just Cranston's character, how come he knew everything? How come nobody was listening to him? It was so much...
Well, that kind of goes into the rest of the film and kind of what made the film so bad.
There were just bad decisions being made in that movie.
Just all around, just so many plot holes and plot devices to move the story along, as opposed to just making a good movie. There was just so much stuff that was just so
Conveniently happening.
It's just,
yeah.
the convenience of that film made me want to. Fucking.
I'd say that more than anything else is what took me out of the movie the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like
Every single thing that happened.
one family in particular is being targeted by these monsters, apparently.
Yeah.
Like it's so completely convenient, and way to make convenient things happen within that movie for it to be taken.
Before we go into that, I just want to say, just for the record, I thought Bryan Cranston did really well. That was, as far as I'm concerned, I liked him.
I'm sure he's somewhere saying thank you, Marco.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to put that in there. I don't agree with the characterization that, every human character was terrible in the movie. I thought Bryan Cranston was good. I just want to put that out there.
Cranston died. He died. Like, I thought he was going to live through the whole movie.
I did too. I was
just kicked
disappointed
it
that
in
he
the
died.
beginning.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I think they were doing that for a twist.
Well,
so
yeah,
that,
they wanted to kind of like throw a curveball,
Right.
which was the only curveball in the entire
Yeah.
film. That movie was so predictable and so okay.
But the way that he died, it wasn't like, oh my god, he's dead. It was like, oh, he died.
Yeah, it was just kind
All
of
right. Yeah, it's like he died
dead
in the
now.
helicopter, and then it just cuts to the helicopter going flying away.
and they don't
It's
tell
like,
you that he died in the helicopter. He just started to, he flatlined or whatever. But sorry. The convenience of the movie, it sucked all the fucking
There was
any kind of suspense.
right.
The film
There's
had.
nothing at stake.
Yeah, nothing.
Like, even the dog that was tied to the tree when
dog
they're trying to
made it.
escape.
Yeah.
They have to show that the dog ripped his chain off.
Oh, yeah.
So that everybody doesn't go, oh my god, that dog died.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Right.
This is a monster movie. We're supposed to
Right.
be able to see these people.
Exactly.
What happens to these people because
Exactly.
of these monsters? People die because this is happening.
Okay, there's so much. Now, I want to kind of try to go in order as best as we can as far as everything that bothered you as it
train wreck
happened.
of a movie.
Right.
It's like, all right, we're driving down a road, which is the movie, and every time we hit a pothole, it just ruins the ride.
Right, it was just
Right.
going.
Right.
Oh, fuck,
So
come
at some
on.
point, it's
Come
just like
on.
we're jumbling all around on the road. That's how often the potholes came about in this movie. Where it's like, oh, you can try to go in order, because the only thing I can
don't think
remember
I
is
can.
like,
I'm just gonna.
the stupid decisions the military made.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we have to get these nukes to the ocean to lure them out.
Right.
So let's put it on a train.
Yeah.
Because helicopters can't outfly the walking one.
Mm-hmm.
And
And how many helicopters did we see in that movie?
a lot.
Even with the the EMP blasts, I mean, every other shot was a fucking helicopter across the screen. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
gonna use those? They used the helicopters to pick up the dead warhead. Well, it wasn't dead, but it didn't
Right.
make it
It
on the
wasn't
train.
active, right.
So they used them to pick it up then. So why did they use it to transport?
That's what I was saying. They get it and they pick it up from the train.
So use it then when you've
Use
already
it
got
initially.
it now, right?
Right.
I had a question within that. I don't know if I just missed something in the plot, but why didn't the monster take, the crawling one that was there when it crashed into the train? Why didn't it take the warhead that was right there in front of it?
Exactly. That was the. Why not?
It did.
No, it
No,
didn't.
it didn't. It left it there and they picked it up.
Yeah. Then they got it. Then the monster got it back later.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, why did it not just sense that it was nuclear?
No,
or-
because it knows. It knows. It senses it.
Right.
That was what was drawing it wherever it was going. Remember, in the
No,
very
then what
end,
the hell drew it to it? Where
that's-
was
it's-
the
it's
monster
Nuclear
going?
emissions drew
Okay,
it to
so
it.
why didn't it eat it then?
Exactly. That's the
the
point.
question,
That's
yeah.
the
Okay.
whole. Yeah.
So stupid.
Because in the end, or in the close to the end, when the monster, what they call the
Muto, right?
Muto, was it Muto?
Muto, yeah.
Muto.
Muto.
So-
The
I was like,
Muto, the walking one, the mother, they figured that out just
Right.
off the fucking top of their head. They were just like,
Ken Watanabe was able to
Which
see from the video.
I'm always a fan of Ken Watanabe. I like him a
Yeah.
lot.
Me
So
too.
I'm disappointed but forget that. Yeah, so it knew it was on the ship that Kick-Ass was on.
right?
So it knew it came after it. So it was drawn to it. So it knew the whole time. There was a couple of things. I'm going to try to remember them. First, what is the motivation behind the monsters killing people anyway? Because their entire thing is, okay, they were woken up. Now they're like, okay, now it's time to fuck. So they get up, and they're in search of nuclear emissions and
Right.
nuclear warheads or whatnot.
For energy.
Radiation, right.
Right.
They're in search of that, so that's their entire motivation. So what's the point of like destroying cities? And the reason I bring this up is because the reason they do that is so that you say these are the evil ones and
Right.
Godzilla's the good one. And it was so forced because, first of all, the way that Ken Watanabe talks about Godzilla, he says that the Muto are his prey. He's the predator. Predator and prey don't battle. Predator eats prey. That's it.
Right.
They don't have a life or death battle. He should have been trying to eat them. He was trying to fight them.
Right. The way that I read into that was that, because he mentioned it a few times, that Godzilla is the balancing act of nature in physical form. So these Muto come out and that summons Godzilla, basically.
Well, okay, but see, nature is random. It's just these things that happen. I mean, they have ecosystems, but
Chaos theory?
right. That's well, yeah.
Dr. Ian Malcolm?
So, that it doesn't make any sense that once they awake, he's gonna fucking rise up from his couch and go, time to go to work. It didn't make, like, it just out of nowhere, like,
Right.
those ones wake up, so he knows. He's like, he's been waiting
Yeah.
millions of years for them to wake up so he can wake up with them.
Well, it's only been
and
15 years.
Protect. No. He's been waiting millions of years.
No, he was there in the
No,
50s.
he was in the.
They tried to blow him up with that first nuclear blast. And
Then
it
they
didn't work.
they blew up one of them.
They tried to blow him up, but it didn't
They
work.
blew up something. That was the
opening sequence?
the skeleton that they
No,
found.
because
that was the-
He said right there. He says, "Is this the one that we blew up?" And they said, "No, this thing's
This one's
way
from
older."
millions of
Right.
years old.
Yeah, and then they
right,
showed
right.
the two pods.
Right.
One was the male, one was the female. The male, the one that flies, was the one that went and destroyed Tokyo 15 years earlier.
Now, okay, I'll say this. I thought I didn't
Oh, sorry,
see that.
Senjin nuclear
Yeah.
plant.
I didn't see that part coming. Every trailer, because I didn't look too deep into Godzilla. Like I was just excited to see it. So every trailer that I watched, it was just Godzilla tearing the city apart. So I thought that was the focus of the movie. I thought,
Right.
you know, so I thought that's what the pod was. I thought it was going to break and Godzilla was going to come out. So when I saw the Muto come out, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to have him battle that.
Right.
That's pretty dope. I like that. They're going to like, it's, you know, it's a kickback to the old,
Right.
you know, King of the Monsters type stuff, but it's still like, but that's where it goes downhill for me.
And we're totally
is-
going to see all those fights, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you
No.
didn't see the fights. You were
I
so
mean,
pissed when
Oh
when
my
I was
got
so
away.
angry because, you know, after a while I'm like, you know what? I'll forgive all these plot holes and all this just terrible convenience of the movie, of the pacing, blah blah blah. Forget all that. I will accept that if you just give me an epic fight, which
Right.
they finally sort of did
No.
in the last
They give you a money
5
shot at the
minutes
end.
of
Like,
it.
there's some payoff for all that waiting, but it's not
It's like
worth it at the end.
How long was it? 2 hours?
And change, probably.
And we don't see Godzilla until like an hour and a half into the movie. I mean, it's not worth it.
I don't want to criticize them for that. It's just the way that they did it, though, because they were obviously trying to do the Jaws tactic where you don't see the monster.
Right.
You know, it's more scary that way.
Which is it is.
Right.
When you know it's going behind the shadows and like, you know, coming out of the
Mm-hmm.
water, it does give it's more intimidating.
Right.
But they failed because once it's out of the water,
You
it's like
gotta
fucking,
you gotta show it.
right.
You gotta show
once
it.
you got it out, once you whip it out,
There's no putting
you
that
gotta make a
monster back
show
in
out of
the
it, right.
pocket. You
That's
know.
it. So you can't go back to putting them behind the shadows
No.
and shit. You can't go back because you've got these wide frames, these huge, you know, tower high monsters, and we barely get to see them go at it.
Ugh.
I mean, what was the fucking point?
It's frustrating. It ended up being frustrating more than anything
Yeah,
else.
that's
yeah.
it. The whole movie was just frustrating.
Right.
They just
Tease.
Yeah, I was going in there expecting like Pacific Rim fights,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Like I didn't give a shit about the story. I didn't get it with characters.
and you know what? That
nothing.
would have been fine.
Yeah, would have been perfectly fine with that. I don't
I'll
like
take all
how
these plot holes.
I went in there expecting Bryan Cranston to be the lead man and Kick-Ass is the lead man.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Sort of.
Yeah. I don't think that was the other problem with it. Too much focus on the people. It's just the Transformers thing. Way too much focus on the human beings. This movie's called Godzilla, not the people that Godzilla affected.
That sounds like a book.
It does, like after
It's
the
a
effects.
memoir.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, all these events, and they affect one family in particular.
Directly.
Yeah.
Over the course of 15 years, directly or affect one family.
Right, like there wasn't like some other guy who wasn't in the military interacting with the military, like at the airport, like catching a flight.
Right.
About to be like, oh shit, it's heading to San Francisco. Well, I need to catch my flight.
Yeah.
No, it was just like this guy is shadowing the exact trail of these monsters.
Every solution was it had something to do with the family.
And it was ridiculous that the military even considered, like in real life, and let's consider realism for once.
Okay.
Giant monsters. Some guy goes, yeah, this other big monster, he came here to fight those two
Yeah,
monsters.
yeah.
That's what he's there for. Don't
Yeah.
blow him up. Let him fight.
Let them fight.
And
They're
then
gonna-
and
they're
then
gonna go.
yeah,
Let's
okay.
try that.
Okay,
Let's
that's a
give
good
that a
idea.
shot. Okay, all right. Now I will say this: giant monsters coming out of the sea, and the only guy who's been there the whole time tells you to let him fight. I think they might take his advice on that. I mean, it's not like it's not two countries going at it, and one guy who's been in Afghanistan the whole time saying, "Just let him deal it. We'll see what happens." It's
Let's
a guy
see how it
who
plays out.
No,
this is
I
a
mean,
guy who
if you-
considers himself an expert on it. You know, like they don't have
Right.
any basis to go with. They kind of have to listen to the guy who considers himself the authority.
Yeah, he was in that sort of secret monarch corporation.
he was part
so-
of it. So I mean, if you're going to listen to anybody, it would be him. I think they should have listened to him sooner. I think in real life they might have said, "What do you think?" And he goes, "He's let nature take its course." And that's what the scientist is going to say
Right.
9 times out of 10. Just let nature take its course. If that is what it's going to be, they're just going to fight. He's going to win because he's Godzilla.
Or, you know,
Godzilla.
they just destroy the earth, but just let them fight.
Well, shit, they cause trillions and trillions of dollars worth of damage.
Yeah, I hope there's a YouTube video
Well,
of how much damage was
I
done.
kind of wonder how they're gonna even accomplish a part 2. I mean, California better be just uninhabitable. They have to move
Well,
everyone.
the Bay Area is gone.
Yeah, it's
So-
got to be just. And the movie has to be like 20, 30 years into the future.
Yeah.
If it's even going to be set
There-
even close
There needs to
California.
be giant walls
Yeah.
protecting that the monsters inevitably are just going to tear down in one
Right.
single blow.
Gigantic
And then
Jaeger
okay,
machines. to
here's
fight
another
them.
here's another one. It's a smaller one, but how did they lose track of them so many times?
That was the other thing.
They're gigantic monsters.
Did you hear me and Adam talking about it? Where I'm like, when I said, why don't they throw GPS trackers
Right.
on them? And Adam's like, oh no, they don't need. They can see them. And I was like, that's probably exactly what two guys in that on
Yeah.
land were like. Why don't we shoot them with the GPS? And he's like, oh no, we got them. Where'd they go? And just completely loses track of them.
He turns around. No, we got it. They're gone. Damn it.
Damn it! Not again.
That's how it happened in the movie.
No,
though.
that's exactly
like you
how it
try to
happened.
take it serious, and then that's the scene they
We
didn't
lost
show.
track of them. What do you mean you lost track of them?
We
It's the first time you've ever seen this. They're flying buildings basically. You don't lose track of that. They're huge.
He pulled a Batman, sir.
that's the scene. That's the scene that happened that they didn't show.
Yeah.
How did you lose
How
them?
did you lose track of them? They're giant. That's the first time we've ever seen these things. Are you kidding me? We looked away and they were gone.
We didn't know they would go. They're huge.
Sorry.
What do you
Or
want from me?
whatever. Yeah.
And then how many times did they open up a door and it was like, no monsters here? And then they open up the next door and it's like, oh, there's the monster.
Oh,
no.
no.
The whole time it was walking through wherever you were at, so you would have heard it.
Yeah.
You
No,
don't
the part that pissed me off the most is when they're going through like all the nuclear waste.
Yeah.
And then they slide open the doors, they're like
Yeah.
checking, and then they open one, it's just this bright light.
Yeah.
Because one of the monsters just cleared out that entire
Right.
just clawed
Section of the
out
building.
that section of
So-
the building.
so where
and
were they?
Nobody heard
Right,
anything.
exactly. Where were they when he was destroying
Yeah.
the north side of the building?
Nothing was seen. Nothing was heard.
No.
Nobody noticed. There were no cameras offline for those rooms.
Nothing.
It was all just to get that cool shot.
Yep.
It was a cool visual.
That's exactly what it was. When Godzilla and the Muto finally meet up in the middle of the city, and the guys, the bomb disposal guys, are right in the middle of it. They look up, and Godzilla's probably, I don't know, 20 yards away, and he lets out the awesome Godzilla scream.
yeah.
That should have blown their brains up.
Their heads just explode.
How are they just? No one even like clutched their ears. They just said, "Oh, that's cool." Like, come on, son. If I'm supposed to be intimidated and scared and like, oh wow, like if you can hear
At
that
least
shit,
pretend like
right,
give
at
me, like,
least go
something.
something. They
They're
were
just
right
like-
next to it and just, that's kind of loud.
That's pretty
We
loud.
should probably keep doing what we're doing.
What?
So yeah, I mean,
The other thing that really pissed me off was how little Kick-Ass tried to get that latch off the bomb
yeah,
or
he
the cover.
literally tried like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
He
went,
had a stick.
He had a stick to pry it up. He had a gun
Yeah.
on him.
Well,
could-
I
something to-
I wouldn't shoot the nuke.
Well, no, he
but-
could have used the butt to kind of,
Lever
like
it.
crowbar it,
Yeah.
kind of something. He didn't even try.
No.
He said, that's not,
Not
going to
gonna
work.
work.
I give up. He lays down.
Time to drive this boat out to sea.
All right, done.
Lord.
Oh, my God.
It's just such stupid plot holes that didn't need to happen.
And it was full of cliches too that just had me rolling my eyes.
Yep, the whole time, just I mean, I couldn't see the film because I was rolling my eyes so much. Just,
I saw more of the ceiling than anything
again.
else.
Yeah. Contemplated going to sleep.
I kind of. You were saying you wanted to leave because your like context was bothering you. I contemplated leaving.
Yeah.
I thought about it for a second, but then I said, you know what? We've been here almost 2 hours. Why not just kick it to the end? We're gonna talk about it later. We might as well. We can't leave and then on the podcast be like, hey,
Well,
we
walked out of Godzilla,
Right.
and that's our review.
Right.
And you
so,
should
yeah.
too.
Can't do that. So
Well,
stuck
I mean,
it out.
I knew even through all of like the really surprisingly boring sections of that movie, which there were a lot.
Yeah.
Like probably half the movie
Yeah.
was
just
boring.
I remember being tired.
Well, see, the issue is like the exposition. I understand why they have it in there. It's supposed to build the character, but it didn't work.
No.
So it ended up just being boring filler that we wanted to
Yeah.
fast forward through so we can get to the monsters fighting each other. Okay, so we've been trashing it this entire time. What did you like about it?
Godzilla himself.
Yeah, the design.
Yeah, the design, the classic roar, the fight that we actually finally got to see. Although I hated people cheering for him because
He's a fucking monster.
right, they don't understand what's happening.
Oh, no, you didn't.
They don't understand what's going on because once he destroys the monster that is terrorizing the city for some reason, What happens if he decides that he's going to turn his lightning blue breath? It wasn't fire breath, unless it was like, it was blue flame. It was so
Right.
hot.
So hot, yeah.
Like, what happens if he decides to turn that on the city? They're cheering for him. Everybody's like, "Woo, go Godzilla!" Because the film made you cheer for Godzilla.
Right.
That's what upset me the most was the two monsters. Their motivation was what nature intended:
Right.
breeding. They woke up and they said, "All right, it's time to spread." That's what nature is. People, humans, animals, they procreate and they pass on. That's the point.
Right.
And that's all they were doing. They weren't terrorized, and that's why I hated the fact that there was no motivation for the monsters. They just walked through, destroyed the city for no were they
Right. It wasn't like
what was the
it wasn't
animosity
like
towards humans? I don't
Yeah.
where did it
Yeah.
come from? They didn't
from
even
us
know
shooting
humans
at them.
existed.
From us shooting at them.
Well, if anything, Godzilla should have that chip on
Exactly.
his shoulder.
Godzilla's the one who came out of the water and immediately got a face full of rockets. He's like, "I'm here to fucking help. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Guys, stop.
Not rockets. The bomb test. They said that they were trying to kill him.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about
the
when
nuclear
they
bomb
the second time when he comes out and they're waiting for him and they're like, "There's another blah, 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 blah," and he comes out of the water and they just immediately just start
Right.
shooting at him and
Laying
stuff.
into him.
I hate how the Japanese scientists just knew immediately what was happening. Oh, he wasn't listening. This wasn't Godzilla.
Yeah.
He was talking to someone else.
Yeah.
Godzilla was listening.
Yeah.
More
convenience.
He's there.
More convenience.
He knows all about these monsters already.
Right.
We were supposed to talk about good stuff about it, but instead we leaned back
Went
toward
right
bad
back down.
stuff.
Because the movie sucked.
Okay,
also.
how about this? How about the fact that the only ones making decisions for the world was the USA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? We're the ones who decide to
it
drop
was
the
on-
nuke.
It was on our land.
This affects the entire. It's a monster
Yeah.
that came out of the sea.
That seems
It's
more
going to
of a-
destroy the world if it doesn't get taken care of. We didn't call anyone. No one decided once they destroy the USA, they're probably going to make their way over to us. We should probably kick in some ships or helicopters, or maybe some boats. I don't know.
Shipcopters.
Some shipcopters.
Somebody get on that.
That's what it was. It was the classic white general going drop the nuke on him.
We got it.
It just
Oh, because all that's too complicated, Marco.
I know.
We're here to see a monster movie.
We're not here to think.
No.
We're here to be just projected scenes of monsters. But we didn't even get that.
I
That's the
know.
problem.
That is the problem.
Because if you're gonna say that your audience is stupid and that all you want to see is monsters, yes, fine. I don't care. Label me stupid. Just give me a good monster film. And they didn't even do that.
Yeah.
They didn't even give me the monsters fighting each other.
I did like the nod to the classic Godzilla monsters. I don't know if you caught it, but when they went back to the house, the kids.
Yeah, the Mothra thing.
Yep.
There was a.
Yeah, it said Mothra on the kids'
Yeah.
what's it called?
Yeah, it's a little enclosure.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah.
glass enclosure in
That
there.
was
yeah.
cool. I don't see where they're gonna go with the second film.
More monsters.
But
more variety of monsters.
I think it's gonna jump the shark really quickly.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be more than two monsters, more than two types of monsters.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be Godzilla versus. We might even see America try to make a monster too. So we were looking at.
But you know what?
Mecha
You
Godzilla.
know what though?
Yeah.
If they do that, I'd probably go and see it.
Wait,
if
okay.
they decide-
I think I'm jumping the shark. They might not make it. They will definitely nod to Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
I'm saying that right now.
If they-
There's gonna be a nod to
If
Mecha
they
Godzilla.
decide to maybe not jump the shark, but if they decide to say, look, let's just go for it, and they just have Mothra or King Ghidorah somehow, I'm with it.
Well-
if they decide to put away because the problem with this one is they tried logic, but they didn't try hard enough. They tried to make it realistic and they tried to make it modern, but they didn't try hard enough. So what you got was a half-baked attempt at logic
Right.
and a lazy attempt at logic, and that's when you get plot holes and that's when you get convenience, because it's easier to say, all right, this is the track that the humans are going to go on, and in the middle of this, Godzilla's going to be going at it with blah blah blah, and it was easier to do it that way than to say, sir,
Well,
that doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
Fuck that.
No.
Sir, this train is ran on electronic equipment. we can't use this train because the EMP
The
thing
EMP or whatever.
and the same thing with the boat. We're
No,
gonna
no,
put
no.
it on.
We got a bunch of military guys pushing the train.
We're just gonna, me and 4 or 5 guys. We're gonna carry a nuclear warhead.
Yeah, they're just gonna carry it.
rocket salvo and all.
Yeah.
Across.
gonna pick it
We're
up
gonna carry it from
and
this
walk away
library
with it.
to the bay and put it on a boat.
Ah, so bad.
Let's put it in a wagon instead. Get there a little slower.
I'm trying to.
Can we get some horses?
Yeah.
I know
They don't
there's
run on
no-
electricity, do they? That's the other thing. If that EMP really affected everything with the electronic,
It wouldn't
pulse,
come back on, first of all.
Hey, yeah,
Came
but it
back
would
on
also
really
kill. It would
fast.
kill humans too.
All right. Science. But you were saying you think that they would bring in some of those classic monsters. The only problem is the company that owns those monsters, they don't have the rights to. So
And that's why they had to create monsters for this one.
exactly.
Instead of just
Well,
using...
hopefully now after the success, air quotes, of Godzilla, they will sell those.
Financially, it was huge.
Oh yeah, it was opening weekend. They already
The
announced
giant
that they were
film.
doing a sequel.
Yep.
Yeah,
Opening weekend. If that's that's impressive to say the first 2 days of a film. Yeah, of course we're gonna do a second one. I mean, so far it's at 229 million.
There you go.
So
That's about as good as the Tom Cruise movie.
That's the total gross of it's still took 160 million dollars to make it, which I see all that money.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can say one good thing about the film, it looked incredible.
Yeah.
Can we? I think we can agree on that. It looked great.
looked
You didn't
good.
think it looked good?
There was a moment where I was like, guys in monster suits aside, it's the same movie.
Really?
It's just
I
a
don't know.
classic Godzilla movie.
I thought it looked amazing as far as just aesthetically.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool. I just think I wanted more.
You still
I wanted
gotta
more.
suspend your disbelief.
I want a scene where Godzilla like reaches into the ocean, right? He's standing up in the ocean. He reaches down. He grabs something, pulls it up, and it's Godzuki. And he's just holding it like a little Godzilla, and he just kind of throws it.
Like Simba?
Yeah,
Holds him
no,
up?
not like that. Just one-handed. He throws Godzuki.
Where
onto-
where are these monsters like hanging out in the ocean?
Yeah, how
like,
come
how
we haven't
deep is the
find-
fucking ocean
Yeah.
that Godzilla is just sleeping down?
I mean, I think they should have played that up.
Yeah,
you know,
they should have
because
done something with
In
that.
truth, there's that whole thing that people say. Apparently, we know more about outer space than we do about our own ocean.
Right, yeah, I've heard that.
So-
Like 80% of it is still unexplored,
Yeah.
that it's so large. Which, I mean, if they could kind of at least allude to it, at least say, because why didn't anybody at least ask that question, like, how long has that fucking thing been out there? Well, I mean, think about it. Only 80% is, 80% is still undiscovered. Then the whole audience goes, yeah, that's true. And then,
Yeah, and they
and then
kind
that that question's answered. Boom,
Right.
it's out of the way. But no, now we have to fucking deal with it on this podcast.
Now it's like an inside government agency thing.
Right,
They
it's
know
this
about it.
clandestine,
but
like,
it's-
cover-up.
It's earthquakes and tsunamis.
It's a giant monster.
That's what's doing all
How do you
this.
cover that up?
Earthquakes and tsunamis.
Duh. Very obvious.
Obviously.
So, to wrap it up, let's rate it
Out of what?
out of 5.
Okay. We have some weird rating systems sometimes. so I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you're right. They're kind of all over the place. I usually like to. It's funny you say that because like when I review music, it's always like out of stars. But movies, usually for some reason, I say a letter grade. I don't know why I do that subconsciously, and I just ask people like, "What would you give it? What letter? If it's a movie?" I don't know. It's weird.
You're a complex man, Marco.
Maybe it's maybe it's because of Entertainment Weekly. Maybe that's what it is.
What kind of questions like? What would you give it? What letter if it's a movie? For this
No,
movie.
I think because in the context of the conversation, we're already talking about a movie, so then that's the question I ask at the end. Like, what would you give it? What letter? So
All right.
what letter would you give it?
I'll give it a D.
Yeah.
Give it a D. I didn't think it was the worst thing. You know.
No,
were-
I mean on its surface,
It wasn't
was
a good
still-
bad movie either.
No, it wasn't.
That shit was
no.
frustrating to watch.
No, because
honestly,
And
good
the whole
bad
time I'm
movies-
thinking, while I'm watching this, is you two turds going, how aren't you excited for this movie? How aren't you
Whatever,
excited for a
man.
Godzilla movie?
whatever the hype,
Yeah.
and the trailers.
eat your humble pie.
I'm not eating any humble pie.
Why don't you
because-
reserve some...
Because you know what?
What?
The advertising and the way that they hyped this movie, I thought it was going to be one of the best movies.
Well, that's exactly your problem, Marco. That's why I wasn't excited about it.
Why?
'Cause
To
I
just
saw-
go against the grain?
I saw the machine, man. and
Yeah,
you're
okay.
You're just a cog, bro.
God, the machine, man.
Adam gave it a D.
I give it a D.
I'm giving it a 2.
I'm just going to go against your grain.
2 out of 7.5.
I'm not a cog in your machine, man. Yeah,
I'm not a part of your system. I
threw that movie to the floor.
I'm gonna give it a D also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a D. We all gave that movie the D.
D. Yeah.
Big old D.
Sorry, Godzilla, and anybody who was attached to it. Which also,
Yeah, if you do like Godzilla, let us know why. Justify that.
yeah, that's a good, yeah. If you're listening to this, comment section in any form that you're listening to it, let us know if you did enjoy the film.
Right, but if
and
your
why.
point is invalid, you're basic.
We still love you.
So, the director of Godzilla is going to direct the first Star Wars spin-off.
What's that mean?
Right.
They
How are they
announced-
already planning spin-offs to a film series they haven't even done?
They announced, I think it was probably about 4 months ago, something around that, that they were planning on doing, I think, 3 spin-off sequels.
Wait, for each episode?
No. I don't. They didn't explain exactly how they planned on releasing them, but that's actually not a bad idea. If they
No,
were
that's
gonna do it
that
way.
is a bad idea.
It's just going to keep going until it's not good.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
get that.
Too
right?
late.
I mean,
Oops.
Okay, but we don't know what 7, 8, and 9 are going to be.
Right.
These could be great films.
Yeah.
You got a guy who really loves the genre, J.J. Abrams, directing. You've got everybody coming back for the film. This is really it's setting up to be really good. At least episode 7 is going to be. It can't. Okay, well, I
It
won't
can.
say that because
Hold
it
your
can't be
breath,
bad.
boy.
Yeah, right.
Remember Godzilla now.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that film we just watched? Yeah. So yes, okay.
Seriously.
There is. It could potentially be terrible, but right now it looks like it's going to be at least halfway decent.
It's looking good on paper.
Yeah. And then we're talking about 3 films plus 3 spin-offs. They said, I read when Disney took over LucasArts, and they said when they finally announced that they were going to make Star Wars films, that they were going to keep making them every 2 years. They weren't going to stop. I don't know if you guys ever read that. When Disney finally
that.
bought LucasArts, when they finally announced Star Wars, they said, yeah, we're just gonna keep fucking doing them.
I think that's when they also announced that they were doing those spin-offs.
Yeah.
That would
Okay,
take
well,
the place of...
I mean, at least if I was them, I would have said, we're gonna try a Star Wars film. We're gonna bring everybody back, and we're gonna try to reboot the series. If it doesn't work, we tried. Don't go in saying, yeah,
No.
we're gonna do 7, 8, 9. And then 3 more spin-off films, because you're setting yourself up for disaster. Because what if the first film is terrible? I mean, obviously it's going to make a bunch of money because it's a Star Wars film.
What if the first film is terrible? You're still going to see 2 and 3.
Well, episode 1 was terrible, so yeah, I guess that's true. I did see 2 and 3, and episode
Exactly.
1 was terrible. So
It's
yeah,
going to
there
sell a
you
lot
go.
of toys, and that's all that matters.
You're right. And my
Unfortunately.
childhood's dead. So
Let's all be depressed now. But no, apparently the topics of the spin-off films are going to be Han Solo, Boba Fett, and somebody was mentioning they might do a Yoda one.
see,
but-
the problem with that is they're
They're
answering,
old. They're old
right.
already. They're old already.
answering fandom from the 70s now, because of course people want more Boba Fett. He's one of the dopest characters in the series.
Right.
Of course people want more Han Solo. Harrison Ford's a badass. Of course people want more Yoda.
He's a
awesome.
badass.
Yeah, he's a master Jedi. Of course you want that. But it's that's over now. You can't bring that back. What's Harrison Ford gonna do in a film by himself as Han Solo?
Get off my damn starship.
I think you guys are getting this wrong. What they were planning on doing is like a prequel film.
I'm
That was,
totally against that.
Hey, acknowledge my joke.
I missed
That was
it.
an Air Force One reference.
Oh,
He goes, get off my damn
yeah.
starship.
yeah.
It's
Thanks.
just the Millennium Falcon.
Thanks. Whoa. Get off my damn Millennium Falcon.
There you go.
He doesn't say get off my damn Air Force One.
Nope.
So shut up.
You should.
Yeah, he should. He should.
Get off my
He should
damn
say
Air
that.
Force One.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, I'm totally against that.
Yo, I hope
so.
they bring Liam Neeson's back.
Right?
Qui-Gon?
Qui-Gon, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Liam Neeson is
There's
my
no reason
shit.
why they couldn't.
He's dead.
Yeah. He can be a
He
can
could
be a Jedi ghost.
Yeah, because when you become one with the Force, I'm about to nerd out. When you become one with the Force, that's when you live forever. That's their immortality, becoming
Right.
one with the Force.
Who
That's,
said he's one with the Force?
he's Qui-Gon Jinn, son. He's one with the Force.
He got-
you fucking
He
kidding me?
taught Obi-Wan, man.
Yeah.
Okay, no,
Did
no,
you
no.
not watch the same review I watched?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What? What are you talking about?
The Red Letter Media.
Yeah.
Highly recommend them.
Where
by
they
the
just
way, but
poop on all of that, those first 3 episodes.
Okay, but forget that. In the series itself, in episode 3, they say that Qui-Gon's alive in the Force. He's become one with the Force, and he's the one who trains Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan to become Ben Kenobi
Right.
Obi-Wan.
in the
Oh,
70s.
you mean old Ben Kenobi?
Old
Yeah.
Ben Kenobi? That
So
wizard.
Qui-Gon is alive, so they could bring him back if they wanted to, which they probably will, because Liam Neeson's huge now.
Liam Neeson keeps getting revived in movies. Though.
Liam Neeson
Yeah.
is my shit.
Liam Neeson's. So yeah, I could see them bringing him back.
What timeline did Force Unleash happen in?
That's-
Vader already existed.
Right.
It's between episode 1 and 2, I think.
Wrong.
No, that was way.
I'm
too
sorry.
early.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
3 and
it's between
4?
4 and 5. I'm sorry. I meant 4 and 5, not 1 and 2. 4
Okay,
and 5.
in that case, I want Star Killer.
Actually, I
somewhere
take
in
that back.
7.
It's between episode 3
3
and
and
4.
4.
That's what it is.
It was 3 and
Because
4.
Okay, that makes
he
sense.
becomes Darth Vader, and then he uses Star Killer to destroy the Jedi's,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that they couldn't get when they did Order 47 or something like the Order 49
Yeah,
to kill all the
Whatever,
Jedi's.
Whatever, relax, nerd. Anyway, did you play Force Unleashed
Yeah,
too? Does he
yeah.
die?
Yeah, I think he does.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Does he become one with the Force too?
He wouldn't. Why would he?
Because he's a master
He's
of
not
it?
a master Jedi.
Yeah.
He started off as a Sith.
Then he became a Jedi.
Yeah, he changed his ways eventually.
Yeah,
but-
So
I
you're
beat
saying
the first
wait,
one.
So wait, you're saying Sith don't become one with the Force
No,
even though they use
no.
the same.
Because they use the dark
Dark
side of the
side.
Fourth.
Fourth.
They use the dark side of the Force. They
Nerds
can't
popping
become
out.
one with the Force after that.
No.
I never heard nothing about
Dark
that.
side's not everlasting, man.
Yeah.
Only the light.
Whatever. Anyway, he became light.
See, but the problem is within that storyline, they mess with the main timeline of that story.
Yeah.
Because then they do that like the DLC of like Leia's a Jedi and like all this.
Oh,
weird
relax.
And the Luke thing.
Yeah.
I think he kills Luke.
Luke
in the
gets
DLC.
killed and Leia takes up like his mantle basically,
Yeah.
and
No, that's not possible.
Why isn't it possible?
Because she's
not
wasn't
a Jedi.
trained for
She's
being a
half Jedi.
That doesn't matter. They stopped
She's-
Anakin. They tried to stop Anakin because he was too old. So you're saying a 30-something-year-old woman could just pick
She
up a
gets in the
lightsaber?
books. She gets trained to be a Jedi.
At what age?
I don't know, in her 30s.
No, absolutely not.
The old way of the
Anyway,
Jedi
I'm saying I want.
is dead.
Shut up! I want
They killed
Star
all
Killer.
the old Jedis.
I want Star Killer
And the
in
babies.
episode
That's
7.
horrible.
Star Killer's not going to be in the movie.
I want
They
him
might,
in
you know
episode
what? They
7.
might make reference to him though. I don't see why they wouldn't make reference to him.
because that's considered
was like-
expanded universe, and they're not using EU.
No,
Nope. You guys didn't hear about that?
no, I didn't hear that. They're not using any of the books. Or
all
anything?
the books are considered extended universe, or expanded, I should say, and they're not considering any of those canon anymore.
Huh?
That entire universe, a few other things too, were written.
That's kind of stupid to do that because
Well-
there's some pretty good characters out
Well,
there.
what it does is it simplifies it because it lets you know who the target audience
Right.
is. They're trying to bring in new people, kids, and people who were just fans of the movie. They're not interested, I don't think, what it sounds like. If you cut all that out, they're not interested in the deep fans, the
Right.
people who went out
General
and bought all
Thrawn
the books
and all that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
they're not interested in that. They're saying, look, the best way, which is smart, the best way to say
Yes.
to get the widest audience is to say, look, these are the people who watched Clone Wars, the TV show, and these are the people who bought the Lego Star Wars games, even though they had never seen the first 3. These are the people who we're gonna gear this film towards, not the people who fucking stuck with it from the 70s to
Right.
now.
So the
Yeah,
only
so,
things that
yeah.
are the only things that are canon right now are the obviously all the movies, the main movies, and Clone Wars, the animated series. All that's canon. Everything that
You
came
know-
before.
you know,
There's
in that-
so much Clone Wars though.
In that show, they brought back Darth Maul, so
yeah,
Oh, that's right.
yeah, they
which
did.
is badass.
Didn't he have like a brother too or something
Yeah,
like
he had like a whole race that.
That
he
sounds like Dragon Ball.
that? A little bit.
Like Frieza.
Yeah.
They come back with his brother.
It's resurrected.
He's got like mechanical legs now
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
I mean, they
When
kill,
they brought back Frieza,
they kill
he
Frieza,
was
but
half
then they
robot.
bring his brother back, and then they bring back Mecha Frieza.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right order, but those exist in the
Those-
Dragon Ball universe.
Yeah, King Cold and Cooler and
Cooler.
Freezer.
Yeah.
Freezer.
Freezer
and
Cooler
Cooler.
and Cold.
Oh, now I see it.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Japan was fooling us.
Oh man,
We got tricked
so
Yep.
bad.
by
That's
the
bad.
freezer and cooler. Damn.
Yeah.
Lord Refrigerator. Yeah. But anyway, so anything that happens as far as the storyline for Star Wars that comes after Clone Wars basically is also canon. So anything that they're doing with J.J. Abrams and that entire crew
Yeah.
is considered canon as well.
Yeah.
So they're starting not fresh, but only choosing very specific things that had the biggest audience, like you were saying.
Okay.
So the main film storylines, Clone Wars, and anything they make from now on.
Word.
Okay.
So a lot of people were upset because there are like hardcore fans of the book series, which is really what got Star Wars through the,
That
late
lull,
80s,
that lull,
early
that-
90s.
Yeah, of no movies.
Where there was nothing.
Yeah.
Until
Well,
they
yeah, I mean, when you
There wasn't nothing. We got video games.
a lot of
Yeah, there were
a lot
video
of
games.
poor video games.
Yeah.
there were some
video
good
games.
ones too. There's some good ones too.
When you bring that up, that's true. It's kind of a slap in the face to shut up.
There's some good ones.
Knights of the Old Republic was made in the first one. When the first one come out? 99, 2000?
I think Knights of the Old Republic came after. Because it was on Xbox.
There's a couple of good Star Wars movies.
You got to go
games.
back to 64 where that.
Even before that on PC, there was like the TIE Fighter game.
Oh yeah.
There was, what was it called? Dark Forces was awesome. First person shooter, like Doom style.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Then the 64 games were really good too.
Yeah.
At least from my kid point of view. I don't know how they
They're probably
stand
poop
up
now.
anymore. Probably.
Let's just say they're good. Still.
They were good at the time anyway. That's my
Just gonna
point.
yeah,
But
at the time they were good. And that's
I remember
all
they
that
had a
matters.
Jedi Knight Outcast
Outcast, yeah.
or Outlaw Outcast.
I think it was Outcast.
Yeah. And they had a sequel of that. They had
They had Battlefront. I don't remember.
Battlefront
I don't
came
know what
after.
year that was.
That was much more recent.
Was that after,
I think that was like inspired by Clone Wars.
that was
That type of game.
That was PS2 era, right?
Yeah, it was definitely on the PS2.
Anyway,
But yeah, like I was gonna say it's
because
insulting to the.
I remember
the-
I remember episode 1 came out, which doctored that pod racing game, which was on the 64.
Yeah, I remember that
So
game.
we have to go 64 and back.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say that it's insulting to the fans of the books, the people who did stick with it from
Right.
the 70s
Yeah,
all the way
of
up to
course.
now, to kind of just say,
Rebel
yeah,
Alliance.
thank you for your loyalty.
Rebel Alliance.
What?
Rebel Alliance.
What are you talking about?
the
Rebel,
game.
The game.
I don't think I ever played it.
You played it. You had to play it. It was
Did
on
I?
the 64. You could pick whatever fighter you wanted.
Maybe I did play
You
it.
could unlock the Naboo fighter before episode 1 was even out, which was really awesome.
Maybe I played it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that
You remember that?
that was,
You remember.
wasn't that a PS2 game?
No.
That was a PS2 game.
Nay.
Anyway,
But yeah, it goes against that. Those are the people who are gonna, they're gonna carry that film.
right.
Because once the kids who watch Clone Wars, once they're done with it, because it's going to be just a fancy to them, it's like, oh, it's cool.
Just a fancy.
But after that, it's over. They're
yeah.
just the people who are loyal to the series. Those are the people that, they're kind of saying, well, too bad.
Right. And I'd say those are the people that were hurt the most from the prequels too.
Yeah.
Because they
Right, because kids still enjoyed those films. I enjoyed them when episode 1 came out in like 2011 or 2001. So
around there.
I was
God,
like 11, 10
you gotta
years
watch
old.
that Red Letter Media and realize how boring those films are and how horrible.
Oh no,
they are.
I know how shitty they are now.
Yeah,
but when I was-
rewatching them now,
When you're
it's-
11, come on, son.
Yeah, you just want some lightsabers.
Exactly.
You got
and
lightsabers.
you got fucking lightsabers. That was a bad man. You still can't get better than that, man. Fucking Darth Maul going at it with them.
Duel of the Fates
Come on.
gets me going every time.
It's still good.
Yeah,
It's
I
still
mean,
good.
it's such a shitty scene, but it's awesome to watch. Like, in continuity of episode 6, episode 6 and 1, then the fighting is completely different.
Yeah,
it's just
that
completely
that's what
hyped
kind
up.
that sucks. It kind of to go back and watch the movies from the 70s, and they're wom, wom, wom.
Right. And because what we were on that review that they were talking about was when Luke is fighting Vader, and he finds out he's his father. Oh wait, no, that was in the second one. But no, when he
that's
lops his hand off.
Yeah, he cuts his hand off.
He cuts his hand off.
He falls down.
He's like
the shaft.
Enraged,
Right.
clashing onto Vader's lightsaber, and all Vader's doing is like he's blocking like this. But in episode 1, once Qui-Gon gets killed, you think Obi-Wan's going to go into a rage. Nope, more choreographed fighting.
Right.
And it's just like...
It has
high
no
block.
emotional impact.
Right.
Well, because I mean, you can explain that with canon though. Obi-Wan's a better Jedi. Luke is the son of Anakin.
Right.
So the dark side is within him. What made Luke so good was that he was able to resist it. But there was moments where you thought maybe he would go, which is the point of the DLC. In he goes full on dark side, and he still kills him. But that was the point.
In the black.
Obi-Wan was never tempted by the dark side. Obi-Wan was a better Jedi as far as the
Right.
classic Jedi.
Okay, so you're saying that him having that good of a grasp on the Force kept him from raging
Yes.
and going
That's
crazy
exactly what I'm
on
saying.
Darth Maul.
Yes.
Right.
So instead of losing his composure, he just
gains more composure and wins the fight.
That's very hard to read into, though. That's not told on an emotional level.
No, definitely not. Not in the film itself. You're.
They don't ever allude to that being
No.
a thing. It's just something that we can analyze and say,
That's
that
something
makes
that I
sense.
can say because it does make sense. But yeah, you're right. It's never alluded to in the film that, his grasp of the Force because
he's a better Jedi.
they let
They've never done that. They don't take Jedis and go, all right, which one's based on what you've seen in the movies and what you've read and all the lore. Who is the best Jedi? Which we should do.
Yoda. Yoda's the best Jedi.
I think Mace
Is he?
Windu's better.
Than Yoda?
Yeah,
He gets killed.
he gets killed because of Anakin.
Yeah, but if he were
Anakin
better,
double crosses him.
if he was a better
Yoda could read
Jedi,
that.
Yoda
though.
gets beat
No.
by
wrong.
Yoda
Wrong,
gets beat
wrong,
by
wrong,
the
wrong,
Emperor.
wrong. There are so many bad decisions Mace Windu did.
Like what?
Letting Anakin get trained.
That was part of the whole council.
Yeah,
That wasn't just him.
Yeah, and
he wasn't just the
Mace
guy
Windu
who...
was the head of the council.
Yoda's the head of the council.
No, Yoda's just a master Jedi.
No, Yoda's the head of the council. Mace
Okay.
Windu is not the... I have to look that up.
He's
I don't
Sam
think
Jackson,
Mace
damn
Windu-
it. He's head of the council.
Bald head of the council.
Anyway, if he were a better Jedi, he would have said, no, this kid is too old. We're not going to train him. That's that.
I think they kind of say that he was a better Jedi. As far as fighting skills are concerned.
Mace Windu's better
Mace
than...
Windu was better than Yoda.
Well, it doesn't look like that.
I mean...
You watch Mace Windu fight the...
Okay,
fucking...
Mace Windu almost kills the Emperor. If it wasn't for Anakin double-crossing him, the entire third movie doesn't exist. Yoda gets beat by the Emperor in the council when they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
He wins. Palpatine beats him in that fight, and then he goes into hiding because he couldn't defeat him.
But he's old.
So
That's true.
yeah, he's like what 400 years old. So
And
what?
he's short.
He's still going.
He's tiny.
Hey, he's a Grand Master of the Force. I'm not gonna let his height.
I don't think that's a rank. I think you're just throwing that.
No.
Grand Master of the Force.
I'm sorry, not of the Force. You're right. Grand Master
Sifu
Jedi.
of the Force.
Grand
He's
Master
a Master Jedi.
That's it. Just Master Jedi.
I'm not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because he's short. You know how much adversity Mace Windu as a black Jedi had to face?
The only...
He's the only black Jedi on the council. How much adversity he had to go through to get to that point?
One of 3 black characters in the Star Wars
Come on,
universe.
son.
Yeah, seriously.
Come on. He had to go through a lot.
Who's the... Are you counting Jar Jar Binks?
No.
Oh my god.
You terrible person.
Oh my
You said it.
goodness.
No, I didn't. No, I was counting the...
Lando Calrissian.
There's Lando.
There's Lando.
There's Mace Windu, and then there's the person that follows around with the princess in her
The security guard?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
security dude.
That's
Or
it. A minor character. He has to count because there's not enough black people.
Yeah,
He's not even a security guard. I like how he says our volunteers.
yeah. Like he's the dude that wears. He has a gun and he wears a hat.
Yeah,
that's
I know
pretty
I
much
know you're
it.
talking
I
about.
like the guy in the bloopers that we saw.
Which one?
On
Oh yeah,
that guy.
on her personal ship. Yeah.
All right. I think that's a good place to kind of just let it go.
Rappy dab it up.
Just
Yeah.
wrap it up. Godzilla really kind of just put a damper on the night.
Yeah.
I really wanted to love it.
That was going to be my main point, was that I really, throughout watching the entire thing, as I was getting more bored and more bored and more disappointed, I couldn't help but think, I really want to like this movie. Mm-hmm. I'm really trying here, guys.
Yeah, of course you did, because you rode the hype train in.
I did.
You've never ride the hype train in.
And that train crashed just like the train on the movie, leaving that nuke behind. But
anyway, but what is on the upside is Wolfenstein is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're in the midst of playing that.
There's trains in there.
So we'll come back with a review of that.
Yeah, we can do that.
There you go. Yeah, we can do that.
we
So
can do
next
some game
episode, look
reviews.
forward to that. Some good old fashioned.
Well, I don't know about
reviews.
next episode.
Yeah, we're gonna do it next
All
episode.
right,
Because now
we'll
I'm calling it, and now people are gonna expect it. So
Well,
it's
you better
happening.
get Wolfenstein then.
All right, that's it. This is episode 12 of the One Beer In Podcast. My name is Marco Dupa.
I'm Dave.
And I am Obesius.
You can catch me at
All right.
You can catch me at Rome Arrow on Instagram, girl.
I am Dupa Get Butt on Instagram and Marco Dupa on everything else.
I'm at Obesius most places. Otherwise, I'm Adam Luis Rodriguez.
You're always fat everywhere. All right, good night, folks.
Wait. Look us up, One Beer In on YouTube, and go to the One Beer In WordPress.
Oh my God.
Say please.
Please.
Okay, bye.